We shall now proceed to the conferring of the degree honoris causa.
For the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, Bruce Templeton.
Chancellor, we all know the Latin proverb, vestis virum facit, the clothes make the man. The gist is what social psychologists have called the uniform effect. How we dress can alter how we act and see the world, but also how others see and act towards us. Costumes and uniforms thus wield significant psychological power. They can shape cultural and social perceptions and expectations, influence group dynamics, and reveal or conceal who we really are. There is perhaps no suit more iconic, no costume more deeply familiar than that worn by whimsical, benevolent, beloved being and Yuletide judge of children's character, Santa Claus. Now, we shall not speak of that other costumed interloper, Mr. Big Stick, the grinning tube of lunch meat whose cylindrical suit was once described in Pulitzer-quality journalism as a mild intestinal pink, and who is the inexplicable darling of the annual St. John's Christmas Parade. Far more universal, far more than its fabric and furs, Santa's suit is a symbol woven from the collective hopes and goodness of humanity, a mantle of belief that transforms a man into a myth. Its power lies not in its blaze of red velvet and winter white trim, not in its golden buttons that twinkle like stars in the polar sky, but in the way these visual cues awaken and sustain our awe and wonder, expel cynicism and grinchiness from our hearts, and instill in us a faith in magic and miracles. In 1978, Bruce Templeton discovered a true kindred spirit in Santa Claus, and he has inhabited that spirit by donning the red suit ever since. Like Santa himself, the scope and scale at which Bruce operates is vast and his generosity expansive. Even when not wearing the suit, he seems able to access that seasonal magic to make the impossible possible. At one scouting jamboree for 2,500 youth in Gross Mourne, he persuaded the park warden to allow 2 CF-18 jets from Goose Bay to do an early morning flyover to wake his campers up, and then gave those unsuspecting kiddos a shower with a water bomber from Gander. Folks still talk about the time he made an epic ice cream sundae with 7,600 Dixie cups and 400 gallons of whipped cream and chocolate sauce. His Santa activities are no less legendary. He made about 50 visits every year for more than 4 decades, gave away hundreds of teddy bears and gifts in parades, at hospitals, in schools, and in seniors' homes. He enchanted every lucky youngster to board the Hits FM flight to the North Pole. He sat with children in palliative care and consoled their families in their devastation. Bruce's memoir, The Man in the Red Suit, was a bestseller, But in true Christmas form, he did not pad his pockets with the proceeds. Rather, his earnings from his books and all his Santa work have gone to Rotary International to purchase the polio vaccine for more than 500,000 children in the world. From private family moments to thousands of parade goers, from the local to the global, there has been no limit to the selfless service and human compassion demonstrated by this man. Bruce's approach to life is a reminder of the world we can live in when we give without the expectation of a return, help those in need through kindnesses big and small, and provide a source in dark times of peace and light. Chancellor, I have made a list and checked it twice. There will be no lumps of coal here today. While the red costume and jolly hat may be different, I can confirm that the substance of the man remains and is what truly matters. For a record of volunteerism that has brought joy and comfort to countless children and their families, for a lifelong dedication to making memories and miracles, I am here with jingle bells on to present to you for the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, the Santa of St. John's, Bruce Templeton.
All your fault. By the virtue of the authority entrusted in me, it is my honor to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa. Congratulations, Bruce.
After struggling in sciences at Memorial, Bruce Templeton had the good sense to pivot. He applied for and won a $5,000 Bowring Scholarship, which took him to Sir George Williams School of Retailing in Montreal and helped him launch a successful career. His real passion, though, has been a remarkable life's work in volunteerism. In 1978, he discovered a true kindred spirit in Santa Claus. As Santa, he makes about 50 visits a year, visits children in palliative care, and comforts their families as they confront the devastation of losing their child. He has never been paid for this work. He was made a member of the Order of Newfoundland and Labrador in 2020 and was inducted into the International Santa Claus Hall of Fame in 2014. For a life of volunteer work that has impacted the lives of countless children and their families, both right here in Newfoundland and Labrador and around the globe, Bruce Templeton will receive the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
I now invite Dr. Bruce Templeton to deliver an address.
Mr. Chancellor, Madam President, Chair of the Board of Regents, all faculty members, students, and guests. The good news is I'm going to be brief. It is a great honor to receive this award from Memorial University of Newfoundland, especially during this 100th anniversary year, and I dedicate it to all those who fought to bring us to this moment. As you, the graduates, hear from all over the world, today is your day, and I am deeply humbled that I have been asked to share in your celebration. Now, what I'm going to ask you to do is sit back and relax. Santa is going to tell you a story. Now, you might be thinking, what's in this for me, and why should I care? But I do hope that you will learn something from this short flight with Santa. I have been doing it with him for almost 50 years. So come on, jump in the sleigh, buckle up, and Santa, come and join Santa as we go on 3 special visits. Now, these 3 visits can be done everywhere and anywhere in the world. So I hope you come with me on these visits. I have heard, by the way, that over half of all graduates this year are female. So the first thing you might like to know is that all 9 of Santa's reindeer are female. Mrs. Claus says 9 men would get lost flying around the world, and they'd probably all want to stop on George Street. Our first stop of our 3 visits is called We Are Going to Life's Greatest Teacher. Now, first of all, Joshua, up there, I need your help. Who were Bim and Ben? Somebody here knows who Bim and Ben were. Anyone know who Bim and Ben were? Yes, they were Thing 1 and Thing 2 from Dr. Seuss. Now, it was Munn's professor, Dr. Rob Shea, who reintroduced me to Dr. Seuss. We were actually talking about forget-me-nots. We were talking about it not growing up not only in Newfoundland and Labrador, but also on the cliffs of Normandy as our soldiers battled ashore. We were talking about how we must all learn from adversity, and Rob quoted to me from the Dr. Seuss book, "Oh, the places you'll go." A lot of you know this by heart. I'm sorry to say so, but sadly it's true that bang-ups and hang-ups can happen to you. So what have I learned from my bang-ups? Well, you might have heard that I wasn't exactly a stellar student here at Memorial, doing an honors degree at Munn. At the end of my second year here, I got a letter suggesting that perhaps I would like to reconsider my education path. It was probably the nicest letter I've ever received when I was kicked out of something. That was a major bang-up. I did recover. I went to Concordia in Montreal. I graduated at the top of my class in retailing. And then, with my wife, Paula, we opened 96 stores in 9 years in Canada and the United States. I hired hundreds of people. And here's the way the interviews went when I interviewed you. I asked, what was your greatest success? And whatever you said, it really didn't matter. And then I asked him, what was your greatest failure? And if you said you hadn't failed at anything in your life, then the interview ended. But if you shared an honest story, then I asked, and how did you recover? And to your answer there, I listened very, very carefully. You see, I believe that failure can teach us more than success. And picking yourself up off the floor is life's greatest teacher. And sometimes, as your chancellor well knows, it helps not to understand the word no. Let me give you two short examples. When I was writing my last book, I wanted to use the iconic image of Santa holding a bottle of Coke. I asked Coca-Cola's head office in Atlanta, Georgia, for permission. The letter came back and said, "No, sir, and we will sue you if you do." So what did I do? I went to King Street in Toronto, to Coca-Cola Canada, and I asked them to write the letter to Atlanta on my behalf. The second letter came back, softened somewhat, and said, "You can use it if you send us $400 US. What? Me pay you $400 to use your image in my book? Did I pay it? Not likely. I wrote them a letter again. "Dear Coke, I'm going to give you two choices. A, I will pay the $400, or B, I will donate the $400 to Rotary International, where the Gates Foundation will double match my $400. That's $1,200, and at 60 cents per child, that's enough money to vaccinate 2,000 children in the world against polio. So, Coke, what will I do?" So, Coke, what will I do? Will I send you the $400, or will you help me immunize 2,000 more children who just might grow up drinking Coke? Their third letter was very short and very simple. "Enjoy our image, Mr. Templeton. It is free. Please let us join you in immunizing the children of the world." The second challenge came from Disney. One year, Santa visited the Janeway Pediatric Intensive Care Unit. My daughter, Christina, here with me today, Dr. Templeton, was with me that night. There we found a mother sitting, rocking, softly singing the theme song from Tarzan to a child who was dying in her arms. "For one so small, you seem so strong. My arms will hold you, keep you safe and warm. This bond between us can't be broken. I will be here, don't you cry." I asked Disney for permission to use these 4 lines in my book. Disney wrote me back, "You can predict what the letter said. No, and if you do, we will sue you." Who wrote the lyrics? The author was Phil Collins. He was on tour in Australia. I sent him the letter, and he responded, "I would be absolutely thrilled if my words were used in your chapter." I sent that letter to Disney, and they replied, "If it's good enough for Phil Collins, it's good enough for us." Bang-ups, yes. Failures, never. Get up off the floor and take a different route. That is one of life's greatest teachers. Our second stop, buckle up. In the sleigh. Come on, let's go. Our second stop was called Your Reputation. Your Reputation. And if you remember nothing on the way home tonight, I want you to remember 5 letters. F-S-Y-L-M. F-S-Y-L-M. My family will remember this story, especially Paula. On December 21st, 2002, I was driving home from an office party. I was stopped by the police for a breathalyzer test. I remember the officer shining his flashlight in my eyes. I wasn't over the legal limit, but I was close. The officer said, "Please, Mr. Templeton, do not drive from here. Call someone to pick you up." My wife, Paula, has been with me now for 56 years. She came and got me, and she drove me home. She wasn't exactly pleased about it that night, and she is the one who deserves this honorary degree, not me. The next day, I heard a radio interview with an addiction expert. He said to beat any addiction, alcohol, nicotine, obesity, the answer is FSYLM, find something you love more. Find something you love more. I have given a speech like this to 600 Santas in the U.S. 5 of them came up in tears and said that I had helped them find the path to their alcohol addiction because they knew they couldn't go into a children's group smelling of alcohol. The next day, after I had heard Find Something You Love More, that really hit me pretty hard. I had had on a red suit at that point for more than 20 years. And what did I love more than drinking? Clearly, I loved my wife, Paula, my children, my church, my Rotary Club, my university, and the sacred trust I held as Santa. What if the next day the paper had read, Santa Bruce Templeton charged with driving under the influence, DUI? Everything I'd built, everything I had built would be gone. I turned to Paula that night and I said, Paula, I will make you a promise which I will keep. I will never drink again as long as I live. That was 23 years ago. You only have one reputation, and you can wreck your reputation in an instant, and you never get it back. So I urge you now to guard your reputation like a treasure. Please do that for me. Our third and final stop is a place called Courage. So buckle up. Here we go. In 1951, the Reverend H.W. Eliot wrote about courage. To face life calmly and unafraid is one of the finest qualities of the human spirit. It is a very hard thing to do. Some people perhaps find it easier than others. They take life as it comes. They never are surprised at anything. They're never intensely thrilled and never disappointed. But the rest of us have to fight it out with ourselves. We may be terribly frightened at times, and the temptation is to dodge the thing that frightens us and to find some excuse to run away. That, of course, is the test. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is rather the will to go straight forward, on in the face of fear, determined to see the thing through. So now, graduates, we have ended our 3-destination journey. I took you to life's greatest teacher, your reputation, and courage. So now, as we land the sleigh, here is my very sincere wish for all of you. Give freely, be humble, serve others without expectation. Those who came before you, the soldiers, the teachers, and the mentors, they gave with their whole hearts. Now it is your turn. Use your gifts not only to build a life, but to better your university, your community, and the world. So let me end then with Dr. Seuss again. I'm sorry to say so, but sadly it's true, that bang-ups and hang-ups can happen to you. So be your name Buxbaum or Bixby or Bray or Mordecai Alley Van Allen O'Shea. You are off to great places. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way. Thank you.
Dr. Templeton, you'll always be Bruce. I will say to you, sir, and I say this to everyone here, never say no to Santa Claus. I tried that once. Didn't work. And the second point I'd make is I'm now 68, and I still believe. Bruce, thank you so much for your inspirational words. They mean a lot. Thank you.